Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the last day of 2020. In this video, we're going to write some very simple thinkScript code to answer two basic questions. Both of these questions are designed to give us an idea or a summary of what happened this year. Now, the first question is, which stocks are either closing at their high for the year 2020 or tagged their high for the year 2020 today, December 31st, 2020? So that's to say, on the final day of the year, the stocks are currently closing out or tagged their highs, giving you this notion that, hey, there's a good amount of strength in this stock. It was strong in 2020 on a relative basis, and you expect that strength to continue as we go into 2021. Now, the second question that we'll take a look at is the reverse of this, and that's which stocks closed at their low for the year 2020. Now, that's to say that today, December 31st, 2020, these stocks are tagging the low. The candle's lowest price for the day is lower than anything we've seen all the way going back to January 1st, 2020, and the first trading day of this year. Now, we'll start by taking a look at the Dow here. The Dow is a good example of a condition in which this first is true, where we're currently going out on the high of the year. And once we have an idea of what we're looking for in the Dow, we'll start by writing our own code to answer both of these questions. Now let's start by coming into a chart of the Dow here first so I can give you an example of what we're looking for. And that's this right here. We'd like to see the high bubble plotting today, December 31st, for all of the stocks and symbols and ETFs where this condition is true, where they're fairly liquid symbols. So that's to say for the final bar of this year, December 31st, we either tag the high or touch the high today. Now, if I zoom out and go through the other three indices here, so we take a look at the SPY. This condition was not true on the SPY, right? That happened a few days ago. If we take a look at the Qs, same thing. Not true today, true a couple days ago, and then we've just been chopping around sideways. And then if we take a look at the Russell, same thing as well, right? True a couple days ago. The only place where we're closing out on a strong note today is the Dow, where today the Dow has touched its highest point for the entire year. Now, in terms of how many bars that is, this is a value that's going to be useful when we create our scan. So we can just do a very rough calculation here of the beginning candle to the very end candle. And that's 253 bars that we currently see, right? 253 bars. And if I come in here to our daily time frame, you'll see I have it set to year to date 1 day. You can set the time interval right here just in case you don't see year to date, but 253 is the number that we're going to use in our scan. So coming into our scan tab here in thinkorswim, if you don't already have anything loaded in, then you can select add filter, then choose study. Inside of study, come into the drop down and make sure to select custom. Now inside here, we'll navigate to the thinkScript editor and we can start by writing our code. Now the first piece of code that we need to add in is something that tracks what has been the high of the year along with the low of the year. Now we measured that there were 253 bars in 2020, so we can use that number to do a very quick calculation here that doesn't require much work. So we can say something like year high is equal to highest high over the past 253 bars. We can similarly do something like that for the low, so we'll say lowest low 253. And now let's say that we first wanted to scan for the year high. We could do something like plot signal is equal to high today is greater than or equal to year high. If this condition is true, give me a list of all of those stocks. I can click OK here. And then let's go ahead and scan this in, let's just say all weeklies if we have, or maybe all optionable for the time being. Now, if I run this scan, let's see what we get in the results. Now here we see that we have 261 results, so a fairly large list. Let me continue to narrow this down, and I think I do want to make this something like all weeklies. Whoops. So I'll come into public and select weeklies here. Let's rerun this scan, and let's see if that helps us narrow down the list. All right, so that did. Now we have only 39 candidates, and if we take a look at these 39 candidates, let's just pick one to see if it is in fact true, and we can choose our beloved Tesla right here. And in Tesla here, we see that we do in fact have that high bubble plotting, so we know that the scan is working the way we expect. Tesla also looks interesting with this squeeze getting ready to fire long. At least that's what it looks like as of right now. And any pullbacks to this market pulse line would make for a fairly interesting trade. That's how I think I would use all of these 39 stocks, is create a watch list and then maybe add in some sort of alert, or you're just monitoring this as often as you can to see if you do get pullbacks to the market pulse line, which gives you a better entry, which I think solves half of your problem. But that's how I would get a very concentrated list of stocks to focus on for 2020 on the bullish scenario. Now we can go ahead and save this as a watch list. So let's say something like 2021 bullish watch list. And then I can save this. And then now if I come into our scroll icon right here, or the edit, and then if I change the signal here to be something like low is less than or equal to, and then we'll say here your low. So this is the second question we asked. Let's run this and see if that gives us any results. Whoops, scan in, come back in here, select weeklies, and then scan. Here we have 4 different stocks that are currently closing on their lows. So that's FAZ, Gilead, SDS, and SPXU. So I can save a list of these stocks. So we'll say 2021 bearish stocks. And then if we come into Gilead, just to test that out, so we'll say GILD, we see in Gilead here, we did close towards the low. We had the low yesterday of 56.56, and we tagged that same 56.56 today, which is why it's populating on our scan. And so Gilead here might be one in which you expect to see this weakness continue, or just ignore altogether, knowing that for the entire year, Gilead is closing towards its bottom. And so that's how I think you have 2 very simple but easy watch lists that you can create for places that you want to focus for the upcoming year based off of the setups that you like to trade. Now, for all of you that have access to the Stock Volatility Box platform, the one extra step that I would take here to really automate the entire trading process of all of the work that we've just done is plug a list of all of those stocks directly into your watch list on the alerts page. That way you'll get notified whenever any of these stocks that we already have a bullish bias on breach the lower end of the volatility box, giving you an opportunity to get long these stocks at a very heavy discount for that day. So the way we can go ahead and do that fairly easily is just by coming in here, copying all of these symbols. We can copy that entire list, open up a new Excel file or just any sheet editor really. That just allows us to do this a lot quicker. And here we can type in the formula equals A1, so the first cell, with the and sign, and then comma separate this, and that's it. Once we apply this, we copy paste all of the list symbols, and we just paste that right in here into our add to watch list. And once I add that, you'll notice all of the stocks are now added into my watch list, where I'll get a notification anytime we have price action breaching any of our long entry volatility box lines. That's to say, anytime price action breaches LE, which is where we're normally looking to enter, we'll get a notification. So we've now really taken all of the work that we've done, this end of year analysis, and plugged that into a place which is now continuously watching it and monitoring these stocks for us, letting us know whenever we have an opportunity to trade in them. All right, I hope this video helps. Thank you all for your continuous support this year and for all the kind comments and watching the videos and feedback along the way. It's much appreciated, and I look forward to all the things we'll build in 2021. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you in the next update. Take care, everyone.